Thank you. And you'll recall the press gallery dinner, the prize was auctioned off. Tony Abbott to give a surfing lesson. Get Up chipped in $16,000 and gave it to an Afghan refugee. Tony Abbott is yet to give that surfing lesson, and it's not likely to happen this side of the election. Here he is.
He is a beginner. I'm told that there are big waves predicted for next week, so I'd like to do it before the election, but I can't absolutely guarantee it.
He's hoping for a tsunami, I think.
It's going to be, the long-range forecast suggests it'll be snowing in seats like Eden, Monaro and Indi, and people will still go out and vote.
That's right.
Okay, Kevin Rudd was out campaigning this week. He went into Bennelong, in fact, unannounced. He was on Palm Island, but here you'll see him talking to some school children, speaking in Chinese, and the Today Show decided to put some rather cheeky subtitles below it. Here it is.
我觉得不错，但是我肚子有一点累，所以关于那个医生方面的事没有问题了。但是我回家的时候我觉得很累，所以每天我到外边去就是很小的时间，后来回到家里去休息一下。So what I said was, actually, I've been pretty fine.
Who knows what he said? Well, I certainly don't. Okay, there was one other debate during the week, the Nationals versus the Greens. I don't know whether you managed to catch that on the Sunrise program. Barnaby Joyce versus Christine Milne. Here's a critical part of it.
This is a complete nonsense about diseases. What you have is a situation. This is have a situation where. Don't talk over me, please. This is a situation.
The audience gave it to the Nationals 82%.
Oh, really?
Though the only poll that counts, I think the Greens are likely to outpoll the Nationals 3-1.
Yeah, I think that might be right.
Now, you guys have been out on the road. We want to have a look at some unscripted moments now from the campaign trail with Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd.
Continuing to talk education, Julia Gillard chose her former high school here in Adelaide to announce the next step of her...
Good school, our prefects here. Want to say hello? Good Tom and Tina.
Hello.
We should let you go back to doing your cross. Okay.
Thanks so much for that. Okay, well, that's stuff. Will we see more of the real Tony Abbott, perhaps?
You've seen a lot of me. I think you've seen all of me, one way or another, over the years, and you've probably seen too much of me, you think, in some particular context.
Sky News. Scott Henderson.
What happened to 24/7 coverage? You all right?
Oh, yes,
And Freudian slip, of course, that was Julia Gillard and Tony Abbott. Kevin Rudd is not in this campaign. I saw you there on the bus, Malcolm. You were working. You were not joining in.
Yeah, I know. I don't join in. I was waiting for I like it both ways. Then I would have done singing along.
But just the impression you get there, though, is that some of the journalists starting to go a bit stir-crazy. Do you get like that after a while?
Absolutely stark, raving mad.
Well,
I can assure you.
You do when you're getting up before you've gone to bed and you don't know where you're going, and you're on a bus going somewhere, and then you put on a plane going somewhere and they don't tell you where. It really does get
But
quite
how does that
ridiculous.
work? At what point are you told where you're going?
Well, it depends. Some days, I mean, I haven't been travelling on all of this campaign, but some days you don't find out where you're going until you're on the bus. Once or twice I think they've been on an aeroplane and not been told until the plane's taking off where they're going. It's quite ridiculous, really.
There's surely somebody you could ask on the way.
Well,
as you're boarding the plane.
They keep these things secret because where they're going might reveal what they're going to be talking about, and they don't want to flag that to the other side because in these days of 24-hour news cycles, then the other side can prepare their arguments. So it does get quite
But as
stupid.
part of the game, though, you gather gossip and intelligence and announce to your escorts, we know we're going to X, and you feel some sort of sense of triumph over that.
But they both seem as if they're handling that part of it really well, like out on the hustings. They both seem to be very good on the stump.
Yeah, I think they're both campaigning well. I think a lot of Liberals have been surprised at how well Tony Abbott campaigned. I think a few of them were concerned that the real Tony might kind of go off like a firecracker occasionally. He's been incredibly disciplined, and they are saying privately, wow, you know, we didn't think he'd do this well. He's doing quite well.
OK, final observation or prediction, Brian?
Well, I find one of the most dispiriting things, all this emphasis on the opposition must get their costings right. It's inevitable that oppositions can't get their costings right. It's far more important to have good policies. There are plenty of policies which Labor announced where I'm sure the costings are right, but they're bad policies. Cash for clunkers is one of those examples. If you're going to do this thing, then the oppositions in future should have access months ago to Treasury and Finance so they can have their things costed, and then this whole silly debate disappears.
Karen?
We focus correctly on the marginal seats, but there's a lot of campaigning going on in safe seats as well, and this is about the primary vote. It helps to get the primary vote up for psychological reasons, for momentum in those national polls going into the last week. It's also about money. They get $2.31 per primary vote if they get more than 4%. So these big parties are now also campaigning in safe seats, trying to get the coffers full for next time.
Malcolm?
Look, so many things decide election results, but I think of the seat of Dawson, the Bowen races this weekend will be critical. I think there are some events there which will possibly decide the outcome of that that election.
A bit of biffo in the campaign.
A bit of biffo at last, a bit of knuckle, what we've been looking for. Ask Roy when he's on whether he...
The last word on that. And that's the program for the week, an election special next Sunday morning, and who knows, we might still be trying to figure out who won. But for now, goodbye from the Insiders team.